Good morning. It's Jack Kelly with the Compliance Search Group, compliancejobs.com, and all sorts of other cool websites. Hey, today I'd like to give you just kind of a little bit of a picture of what's happening in the job market right now. It's the end of September, September 26th to be exact, Monday morning, about 7 in the morning. So, I'm having my coffee, try to wake up a little bit, and I thought this is a good time to share, what's happening in the job market. Every job market's a little different and unique. This one is characterized by a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of kind of anxiety and fear lingering around. Give you some context. Usually in the summer, historically, over the last 15 plus years that I've been recruiting, you see in the summer, it usually is slow. There's some, there's activities, we place people, get jobs in, but for the most part, come on, just between us, let's be honest. What happens, people are on vacation, they're away, they're not focused on it, the kids are home from school, even if you hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate your life, it kind of gets better in the summer. It's nice, it's sunny, you go to the beach, you take a trip. So kind of hiring takes a back seat. Then you go into Labor Day. It's Labor Day, you're chilling, relaxing, getting out of Labor Day. You have that waking up, this is the new reality. Everything is starting again. I'm sorry, it's a call. So shows that things are good, at least that we're getting calls early in the morning. So you start kind of getting back into the things, back up and running. This year, I notice it's definitely slower than it's been in the past. And I kind of understand why. Now, think about this for a second. And the reason I'm sharing this, because, if you're looking for a job, if you're a hiring manager hiring somebody, I feel it's helpful to get some context, some coloring, what's happening. So this way, you're not just looking through the lens of your own unique experience, but you're looking at, the totality of what's happening. And in my humble opinion, what I see is a confluence of events. No particular order. Number one, the presidential election. Tonight is the big debate between Trump and Clinton, and they're saying it's going to be about 100 million people watching. I don't know if those numbers are accurate or not, but it just shows how much this election, as opposed to others, is really drawing the attention of everybody. And I think it just scares the hell out of everybody. And I'm not saying this to choose sides or anything like that, because in full disclosure, I probably would go with a libertarian candidate. So, just put it out there. So what's happening is this. On both sides, it just seems like it's a kid's food fight from middle school. And I think it terrifies people for the most part. There's great animosity against each side by the other. There's great fear, worry, anxiety, apprehension about what's going to happen. And that troubles people. Now, put on top of that, the terrorism both here in the U.S., just recently we had a couple bombs go off in New York. And New Jersey. We've had Orlando. We've had San Bernardino. We've had Nice in France, and I could go on, but this is out there. This is going on. Global uncertainty, waves of refugees going in Europe, and hearing all sorts of sordid tales. Our chilling relationships with Russia and Putin, and kind of sparring with China and the Middle East. The economy, while it seems better, a lot of people feel that it's not really doing that well, and that either they're underemployed or underpaid, or really no further along than they were during the financial crisis or even before then. So when you pile this on, what happens on both sides, whether you're a candidate or you're a hiring manager, you get concerned, you get worried, and when you get worried, you tend not to make decisions, you tend not to act. Let me give you an example. Think about it in your own personal life. If, let's say, you and your wife are gainfully employed and everything are going well and you're really successful, or even moderately successful, there's a feeling that, yes, let's get that bigger house. Let's take that vacation. Let's buy another car. There's more of a comfort level saying, hey, things are good and likely they're going to get better. So we're going to do things that we wouldn't ordinarily do. Conversely, let's say, your husband loses his job, you lose your job. Let's say you don't get that bonus you were counting on. Let's say there's layoffs at your firm and you're worried you might be next. Well, what happens is kind of the reverse. You're not going to take that extra trip, perhaps. You're not going to buy that new car. You're not going to think about moving to a nicer, bigger house. You're going to worry about how you can pay for your kids' colleges. So all of a sudden, you're pulling back. You're holding back because you're not sure what's going to happen, and you're husbanding your resources till you kind of have clarity about what the future will bring. And that's what I maintain is happening in this market right now, that because of this uncertainty, because of these worries, anxiety, both sides, hiring managers and candidates are kind of pulling back. They're a little worried, they're a little anxious, they're a little fearful of what's happening down the road. And because of that, you'll notice on the hiring side, it takes way longer. It takes a long time. It's very slow, very cautious. People have been interviewing. And of course, I'm generalizing. Everyone's going to have a unique experience. This is not going to be for every single time. But you'll meet, the manager, the HR person, the manager's manager, the manager's manager. You're going to meet, the business people. You're going to meet people who are peers, who are underlings. People who come in to water the plants, the mailman, the janitor. It's just nonstop. And this is going to go on week after week, month after month. Literally could go on to 6 months or so. And I'm not exaggerating. We have these roles that have been on and off, 6 months plus. And you know what? I can't blame these firms because I get it because of just what I mentioned, that they don't know. They're not sure what's happening. In particular, in my area of specialization, which is banking and Wall Street and hedge funds and private equity, big banks, global banks, a lot of them aren't doing so great. So when you have the macro events that I mentioned before, but then also, specific to each company, maybe not doing so great, what do? You don't make quick decisions. You take your time. You're very thoughtful. You're very deliberate. And you're nervous to hire because you don't want to hire, and then you have to tell that person you hired a month later, sorry, we're letting you go. People, despite what you say about, people, I think at the end of the day, most people are pretty nice and reasonable. So you don't want to hire someone and then say, hey, Jack, sorry. And I'm like, wait, I've been here a week. 2 weeks? What's going on? Yeah, we got to have massive layoffs, or we're moving your job to Delaware or Florida or Salt Lake City or Tennessee or, Bangalore, India or whatever. Well, they'd rather not do it, so they wait. Also, think about it yourself. Just try to get 5 of your friends to agree on what restaurant to go to, what movie to see, what bar to go to. It's hard. In best circumstances. So when you pile these on, it takes forever. So if you're that candidate going through and you wonder, why am I not getting that call back? Why am I not getting that interview? Why is there 3 months gaps? This is kind of the bigger picture. There are always going to be specific ones to the firm, but these are the kind of issues. For candidates, if you're a hiring manager, think about it. They're worried. Can't tell you how many times I hear the devil I know is better than the devil I don't know. And they'd rather stay, especially in an area where I do a lot of work, which is the compliance area, compliance and legal and regulatory and audit and risk. Those jobs have been so hot for so long, from the financial crisis onwards, and even before they've been hot. So you have people who've moved, no exaggeration, 2, 3, 4 times, over the last 8, 9, 10 years. Because it's been so hot, even if you weren't an active job seeker, the jobs would just fall in your lap. So if you've moved 2, 3, 4 times and you've made 10, 15, 20% bump up on each move, if it's a challenging market and you're worried about the economy, you're worried about the elections, you're worried about everything, you know what you're going to say? You're going to most likely say, hey, Jack, you know what? Let me think about it. Let me pass on this one. If it's not exactly perfect, if it's not great, let me think some more. And that's what happens. So if you're a hiring manager and you're wondering, why am I not getting the people? What's going on? This happens. If you're comfortable and you're doing well and you feel your job is safe and you realize we're at the end of September, we have October, November, and then the holidays in December, I'm expecting a bonus. I don't want to screw it up. I'm going to wait. So this way now you have that on both sides of the fence, that kind of reticence, worry, anxiety, not sure what to do. So it goes slow. Now, on the positive side, in the area that I specialize in, there's still jobs. We get jobs in literally every day, which is great. And we get it across the board. everything from chief compliance officers and general counsels to staff levels and everything in between. It could be with investment banks, broker-dealers, hedge funds, private equity shops, U.S. Office of International Banks, and then also all corporate America, pharmaceutical companies, general corporate America. So we're seeing across the board. And it's also nationwide. So the good news is you can tell there's a demand, there's needs. And it's not isolated in one place. It's not just like one, because of Dodd-Frank, they have to hire a certain type of person. This is really kind of broadly based. So it's good. So I see the need out there, the demand out there. It's just this weird, anxiety-ridden time period that's slowing things down. Now, the good news, after doing this for a long time, I realize these things change. They ebb, they flow. You know, it's almost picture a boat where you go, you know, you run to one side and it's tipping over, and then you get nervous, everyone runs to the other side, it tips over the other way. So as long as I do it, it always tends to be that way. So this way, it's this kind of, I don't know if you're tipping all the way over, but it's more you don't know what to do. So it's just kind of plodding along. But I think what will happen as time goes on, and hopefully, being an optimist here, you know, that whoever wins the election, the world doesn't come to an end, things move forward, you know, we develop better relationships, you know, with other countries, the economy, you know, keeps chugging along, the stock market doesn't crash, you know, and things get better. And then the hiring just kind of just as it always been historically, the wheels start moving again, and there's more confidence, and people more apt to put their resumes out there and interview. Firms feel more comfortable to hire, and we start all over again. So I think it's just going to be this little time period where this happens, but then things should get better. So I hope this helps and gives you some understanding about what's going on in the market. And thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy my podcast, and I'll speak to you soon. It's Jack Kelly, Compliance Search. You can reach me at 212-997-3166 and jkelly@compliancesearch.com. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.